Alright, so now I'm here with our pump station. This is a Monroe 3/4 horsepower. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and tear it all the way down. We'll go over what the mechanical seal is, what it looks like, where it's at, also the motor bearings, so common things that can go wrong, and we'll go over how to expose those and troubleshoot. So I'm going to go ahead and take this motor off. Good to have a ratcheting wrench right now. Okay, so sometimes free it up a little bit. There it is. Slide that out. So you see, here's my O-ring here. This is what seals the motor. I'm gonna seal chamber in here. Also, you notice I have another seal here. This goes right here on the motor. You can see here I have my impeller case, so I need to take these off here. Okay, so by looking at this here, the water comes in through the center, spins around in the case, comes out the side here. Alright, so now I have this exposed. Now I can see my impeller. So here it is here. As you can see, it spins on the motor. So what I'm doing here is just unthreading it. Okay. So here's my impeller. So as you can see, these are my fins. You want to make sure nothing's clogged. Make sure everything looks good. Make sure it's not bent, any damage. So this looks good here. I have now my spring and my rotating seal. And now I got to take off my plate here. So there's 4 bolts here on the bottom. Okay, so now I got those 4 bolts off. Now what I want to do is just help loosen this a little bit. We are here. So now what I'm left with is just my motor. Got my seal here. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this down out of the way. We're going to look at our case. So this is my stationary seal. As you can see, it's damaged right here, so what we'll have to do is we'll replace this. So this would cause some leaking, right? Okay, now I'm going to take these 4 bolts apart in the back here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to pull the motor out of the casing. Okay, now so I'm going to go ahead and tap this plate off. Okay, just want to tap. You don't want to give a good whack. You don't want to damage any pieces. So here we go. Okay, so what we have here is the inner part of our motor. So here are my two bearings. All right, I have one on the top and one on the bottom. So these are the bearings that will go out. All right, we'll notice it as the pump runs. It'll give me a real high-pitched sound. The motor will start getting warmer and hotter because it's using more energy to create that. So these are the two things. If you just have a bearing puller, you go ahead and pull these off. Go get them anywhere, any hardware store, any auto parts store. These are just a standard sealed bearing, and repair them. Replacing that in the seal, and majority of the time, you can go ahead and fix your own problems there. So pumps, I know they kind of seem intimidating, but really, just a little bit of knowledge and being thorough, anybody could repair one of these. Okay, so now we have it all taken apart. Let's go ahead and reassemble it. So again, this is my inner part of my motor. Make sure it sits in there nice. I have my lid on. There. Okay. Go ahead and tighten these now. Take my long shaft pieces. This goes in. All right, now that we have that together, we're going to go ahead and put on our washer. Put on the case cover. We have 4 bolts that go on underneath. I just want to get 2 of them in. Just going to make sure it's held in place. Okay. I want to put my mechanical seal in. Okay, so I want to put my mechanical seal in. So that's going to slide on right here. Make sure that's nice and firm in there. Next I'm going to go my spring and rotating. And I'm going to take my impeller. Go ahead and just spin that on. Alright, so you notice I didn't really crank that down, it's just a hand tightened thing here. Okay, we'll put the 2 bolts in that hold on my impeller dish. Make sure you put your O-ring back on. Go ahead and put the other seal on there. Okay, so now I got the motor back in. So now all I gotta do is simply tighten up these bolts. And that's it. So we went over pulling the motor out. We went over the bearings, the mechanical seal, which has our stationary seat and our rotating seat. So if we have any kind of a leakage, this is where you want to start looking. So if there's any other questions, please leave it in our comments. Again, we're always looking for information that you guys are going to use. So I know this was a basic overview of pumps, but thank you for watching. And this is Brandon Burgess with Irrigator Technical Training School.